We are in the old Jewish cemetery in the old Jewish town of Prague. This is one of the oldest Jewish burial sites still in existence in the world. And it is an amazing place. People come from around the world to see this cemetery. If you look around, you see here hundreds and thousands of headstones, of matzevot, of Jews that were buried here throughout the generations. Actually, we know that the oldest headstone we will see is from 1439, but we think the Jews were buried here even beforehand, from when they began to live in the old Jewish town of Prague, and that is in the year 1200, 800 years ago. There are 15,000 headstones, but we believe that there are 50,000 Jews buried here. And they were buried layer above layer because the cemetery could not expand. The Jews lived in a ghetto, closed off, and they couldn't expand the cemetery. In the 16th century, Prague was known as Jerusalem on the Vltava because it was a Jewish center, and it was a Jewish center because of one man, Mordechai Maisel, the Jew that was buried here. He was not only a financier of the Holy Roman Emperor, but he also built the Jewish community. He built a hospital, which is behind us. He built the old Jewish town, which is the town hall of the Jews until today, 400 years later. He built a beautiful synagogue, the Maisel synagogue. He built so much, and he helped so many. He helped the poor, he helped Christians also. He was a huge leader, and this is his kever. At the time of Mordechai Maisel, there was an outstanding woman called Rivka Tiktiner. Her grave is not far from here, just down the road here. And Rivka was an outstanding scholar. And she even had a book written called Meineket Rivka, which was an advice to women. She was much before the time a woman leader, outgoing and really poletzet derech, they say in Hebrew. Rabbi Yehuda ben Batala Lo, the Maharal of Prague, is one of the most important Jewish spiritual leaders and rabbis that ever existed. His teaching, his books, his spiritual ideas he gave that were a inspiration to Jews for many generations after him. Rabbi Ephraim Shlomo Lunchitz, the Kli Yakar, is also one of the most important rabbis. He was the successor of the Maharal of Rabbi Yehuda ben Betzalel Lo, and he is buried here. Many of the headstones have a symbolic engraving on them, a motif which indicates who the person was. In this one we see the hands like the holy priest. He was a Kohen. His name was Katz, Kohen Tzedek. The second one over here is of a Levite who was working in the temple. I myself am a Levi also, and this is of the Levite. That is the tool that they were using in the temple. And this person here, his name was Wolf. He was Ze'ev in Hebrew, a wolf, and here is the symbol of a wolf. The Jewish Burial Society, which is called kadisha, which exists in every Jewish community around the world, was actually formed and established in Prague 400 years ago. It was the Maharal, Rabbi Lo, who wrote the ordinance of how a kadisha should be established and should run.